This is In the Shadows Podcast. Lots of cigar talk, but if it's going on in the world, we'll be talking about that too. And by the way, the fellas don't shy away from controversial topics. Trust me. So grab that stick, kick back with your favorite drink, and let's do the thing. This is the In the Shadows Podcast. Now your hosts, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the In the Shadow Podcast. I'm your host, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin. And today we have Martin Amaya with us, and it will be a slightly different than our usual episode. This is actually a pseudo interview kind of thing. And we're just going to share a little bit about our experience about being a YouTuber that reviews cigars. Now, obviously, Martin has a very different experience in how to review cigars and actually getting sponsored. Me, on the different spectrum, I'm the one that does it whatever, however, and never get sponsored. So I think we show a good polarity of what is available, what people are doing, that kind of stuff. So today we're going to talk to Martin all about that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy such information. So Martin, let's talk about your experience in recording YouTube video.
Sure. So first of all, I just want to say what's going on, everybody. If you guys don't know me, I am Martin Amaya, once famous. I used to have a YouTube channel, and now I'm kind of just starting all over. So with my first channel, I did have sponsors. I did have a way of reviewing cigars, but it was kind of a, how would you say it? It was almost like I did it for fun. I wasn't really trying to get super popular. It was just a matter of recording a video, putting it out there, kind of creating a journal for myself of tasting notes, a video journal of tasting notes. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And until YouTube started cracking down a little bit on cigar reviewers. But it was fun. So decided to start a new one.
And that's one of the things that pissed me off, because YouTube was cracking down, and all of a sudden they're not cracking down anymore. It's like they're like, oh, we change our mind. You know, we just want to get rid of some people and see what happens. And now we have competitions. We'll kind of let them go a little bit. So now we have seen a lot of new cigar reviewers coming back on YouTube or going on YouTube for the very first time, and they're just doing whatever, right? And sometimes our video gets marked 18 plus, and sometimes it doesn't. And I think that will be another day of like a conversation, because when we talked about this, like, okay, if you talk about some trigger words, it automatically become 18 plus. Right. And if you smoke a cigar, sometimes they would, sometimes they won't. It's very like, you know, it's like, okay, if you show any smoking at all, that make it 18 plus. So what about all those Looney Tunes and stuff like that? They have a lot of cigar smoking there.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm trying to figure out what that balance is. But, you know, that will be another episode, I guess, talk about it. But so let's start, Martin, let's start with the very beginning. I remember one day you just said, you know, hey, I want to do a cigar channel. And then all of a sudden, I think you just started using your cell phone. You didn't have a microphone or anything like that. You just used your cell phone. And they went to your like side of your house where the bricks are and just decided to start recording. And I remember one of your first episodes was about that. The jar, the jar for the cigars. Don't land the foot down.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Basically the humidor. So with one of the first videos I did that I decided, well, let me go back. So when I first started my YouTube channel, the first one that got deleted, I created a channel because I was like, okay, there's got to be a different way. I was working a 9 to 5. I was like, there's got to be a way to make money online. So I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to post a couple videos here and just kind of figure out what I want to do from there. And then I posted an unboxing video, and that got significantly more views than I had gotten before. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to keep doing some sort of cigar thing. And then I'd seen one of Tony's videos where he was, or actually we were talking about it on a live, I think, where he said you don't want to lay your foot, the foot of the cigar, standing up because it'll crack the cigar. And I kind of went in, talked about a little humidor where you lay your cigars sideways, because when you go into a cigar shop, you lay them sideways, and that's the way they're supposed to be displayed, because if you hold it up on the foot, it's going to crack. So, but yeah, just fun little videos like that, informative, and then reviewing cigars is what my channel was all about.
Yeah, I remember that part where we talk about acrylic, right? Because acrylic is hard; it doesn't have much of a give. So, if you leave it for a significant amount of time period, the foot will start to compress on itself. It actually damages the foot. Now, some people actually talked about rotating it to the side, and even that, it's not even. It's not even bad. Just think about you sleeping on a cylinder. As a human being, sleeping on a cylinder, it's not comfortable. So, it's the same idea. But you took off from those videos really quickly, and eventually you did get enough views to, I don't know, was it monetized? Or
it wasn't ever monetized. It was mainly just like I had Patreon, and then I had some companies that reached out to me to try to do unboxings for them.
Okay, so before we go to that, right? Before you say how much money you're making at that point, let's talk about how much money you spent. I think that's the most important part, right? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thinking about, oh, I want to do my own podcast. I want to do my own YouTube videos. I want to do gaming, streaming. A lot of people want to do that. And they think that because what they see online, they think those people make a lot of money. All right. Sure. And whatever appear is, you always see like TikTok videos, people with Lamborghini and all that stuff. Those are fake. Those are set up. This is a cow stage.
Yep.
So let's talk about the realistic view about how to get this whole thing started, right? Because I remember for me, in order to get everything started, I had to buy a laptop, and that was like $800. And I had to buy a microphone, and I just used an old webcam, which is about $50. And that was how I got started. So, roughly under $1,000 got started. Shittiest quality ever in the world, of course. Because I was doing streaming more than like a video, because I hate editing. So for me, a camera alone or a phone wasn't enough, right? But for you were recording videos, but even though you already have a phone, you need other stuff. So let's talk about what other stuff did you need?
Sure. So after I recorded a couple videos, I noticed that my audio was not great at all. So I was like, man, I've got to find a way to make the audio sound better. And I've got to figure out how to sync it to my phone and all this other stuff. So I ended up just buying me a microphone, an external microphone, plugging it into my Samsung phone or Android phone, whatever it was at the time. And that was the big difference that I was looking for. So I noticed it was clearer. You couldn't hear a lot of static around me. And then after that, I had bought like phone stands and like little stuff here and there, because it was a small channel. It was a hobby. I was smoking and reviewing cigars. The cigars were the most expensive product. So as little as I could spend to just make the video, that's what my goal was.
Okay, at that point, let's say just the first stage of improvement, how much money you kind of spend?
To start off, it was probably about $100.
Okay,
for just a microphone.
All right, so $100 over the microphone. As you progress, right? We all had to edit. Did you have to buy editing software?
Oh yeah, I had to get editing software. I was able to find an editing program on an app that I was paying about $5 a month, which wasn't that bad. So for the most part, I just tried to keep it super simple. I had a laptop. I could edit videos on the laptop, but I would have to get an additional program to edit it there. And I just kind of weighed out the options. I was like, look, I can do everything on my phone. Just why change it? Why do I have to go and make it difficult?
And the funniest part is that you got the same laptops I did, but you just got a different CPU. So literally, we had the same computer, thinking about the same things. Like, hey, this could be used for this particular hobby, and get that. And turns out you end up not using it because I remember your screen was broken for the longest time, and you never got repaired.
Yep.
So you didn't bother with it. Now, for me, I ended up go with the PC path because laptop wasn't doing enough for me. There's so much things needed. When you're live streaming, I think that's the thing is that every flaw is immediate, right? No sound is immediate. Video quality is bad, is immediate. Chat is not working. Everything was immediate. So you kind of have to fix all that stuff. But post-processing like yours, recording a video, is kind of different because if you screwed up, if you, and this happened to all of us, okay? It's record entire video and then realize that the microphone wasn't on.
Yes, I hated that. There's nothing worse than you're like, okay, my microphone it was plugged in, but it wasn't plugged all the way in. So it recorded no audio through a microphone.
Yeah, that happens. And that's but for that, the worst case scenario, go get another cigar and then re-record it again, right?
Right.
But for live, everybody was screaming the chat room, mic is not on.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
The microphone's not on. It's like, what? No, hold on. Technical difficulty. Yeah, so I personally, for me, we ended up using way more equipment, right? I was having 2 different cameras, 2 different microphones, 2 different screens, just in case one fails. And that starts to add up. But for you, your main tool is really your phone. So whenever you upgraded your phone, technically you upgraded your equipment.
Right, I upgraded my camera. And those phones aren't cheap, man. They're about $1,000, so yeah.
Okay, so it's a continuation of costs, and obviously you use whatever tool that was available to you, and this took a lot of time, right?
Yeah, it did. So it was taking me about. So I did not have enough time already to have a YouTube channel. So when I started, I literally had to review in my car during my lunch break at work because that was the only time that I could record a video. And then I had to edit the video. I'm like, okay, well, where am I going to find time to do this? So I would either stay up late editing video, or on the days that I wasn't recording a video, I would edit the video on the lunch break. It's just trying to balance time and family life and all this other stuff. And I finally got to a point where I was like a month or 2 ahead in videos. And picture this, I was posting 3 videos a week. 3 videos a week takes a lot of time from start to finish. And then I was able to get to about a month or 2 ahead of myself with these videos. So I had a little bit of time to relax. But even just starting, oh my God, it was hell.
So that would mean that you had to record every day, literally every day, because you're doing 3 a week. You had to record every day so that you have 3 to spare for next week. Right, for the next week ahead, because you got to release for this week, you need 3. Next week, you need another 3, and you only get 1 day to edit. Really,
yeah,
that's a lot of work.
It was about four cigars I was reviewing a week, and the 1 extra just went into the bucket for a following episode. So, record 3, edit them, boom, I'm done. Okay, let's see how much more I can get. I'll do 1 more. Just throw it in the back of the bucket.
So let's put that in perspective, okay? For those people who are listening, you gotta work 6 or 7 days a week. You got 1 cigar is roughly about 1.5 hours, okay?
Right.
And then or editing is about 1.5 hours, if not more. Because for those people who didn't think so, you had to listen to yourself many, many, many times and watch that many, many, many times just to make sure that everything's okay. Even when you perfected it, you start to put them together. It takes a little time, but when you render that video, it's another 40-minute, 30-minute, okay? So let's just say every single day, 3 hours at a time, okay? So 1 week, 21 hours you worked on this thing, okay? Yeah. Now, let's come to the big secret. You got sponsors, you got various donations. Put it together, right? Put it together on average 1 month. How much money does it come in?
not nearly as much as I was spending on cigars or whatever. I mean, it was not supplementing my income for my daily life job.
Right. So just give me an average, right? A number, roughly, plus minus, get a whole number. Doesn't have to be
A whole
exact.
number that I was making a month.
Per month, yeah, per month.
Per month, it was between towards the end. I'll say this: towards the end, I know I was making about $500 extra a month.
Okay, $500 extra a month. So let's put this in perspective, right? $500 a month, you work basically another full-time job, right? Because 20 hours a week, and then 4 weeks, so you have 80 hours a month.
Yep.
And you make $500. That's roughly being paid roughly what, $11 or $12 an hour for 80 hours, I think.
I don't know. I think it'd be less than that.
You know what?
Because it's 500. It's only $500 with. Let me say. Okay, so I was putting in about. Yeah.
Divided by let's say that's 82 hours. That's $6 an hour.
Yeah.
$6 an hour, and that's roughly saying is 82. But if we go down a little bit on the conservative side, per month, if you let's say 75, yeah, you're still about $6. So you're working a job for $6 an hour. Really, is not a lot of money. But those people think that, oh, you gotta be able to do a reviewer, you gotta receive a lot of sponsorship, this and that. You ended up with a job for $6 an hour. That's below minimum wage.
Yes.
Below minimum wage, and people are thinking, oh, YouTuber makes a lot of money. No, YouTuber does not make a lot of money. If they make a lot of money, they wouldn't have to keep going. Just think of this way, right? The wealthiest two would be PewDiePie and Mr. Beast.
Yep.
PewDiePie cannot stop. He still keep going.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast is still keep going. He's got into doing shorts too now. So if you think that they're making millions and billions of dollars, think again. Think again. They're working like a dog.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things with those guys is they have products. They have products in stores that are making them money on top of their YouTube commissions or whatever they get.
Well, they have a big production, right? And that big production was expected to make that big return, not necessarily from the YouTube counts, because a million click is like $100, not even something like that. It's not a lot. Million click is not a lot of money. So
no, it's not.
So they're not counting on that. They're counting on the other sponsor, product placements, mentionings, advertisers to be on their show or to be on their clips for that to work. He just happened to charge a lot of money, because if he's got billions of people looking at it, he's got to have that view. And if you charge by the view, yeah, he's got that value, but not from YouTube. Not from YouTube, right? So if we think about this directly, as a cigar reviewer, YouTube does not let you to have your channel monetized. So that part of it is gone, right? That part of it is not there. Right. You're not making anything for that. For sponsorship, keep in mind, there's two types of sponsorship. One is they'll give you something to give away or give you something to review. One type of sponsorship, you got product for free, right? The other one is if somebody clicking your links, they buy some cigars, you get a small cut.
Right.
And I want people to know this, okay? You get a small cut. Means that you may get a few percentage. And we are talking about each cigar is like penny to $1, right? Maybe if you buy a cigar, like, okay, let's say you buy a cigar for $5, right? And you get 20%. That's like $1. If you get 10%, that's like 50 cents, guys. It's not a lot of money in there. So what the point I try to make is really that doesn't make a lot of money. Not that Martin doesn't enjoy doing this, or I don't enjoy this.
True.
Is if you're thinking that people are in this for the money based on the content, you can really tell whether or not this is. If somebody's pushing the product a lot, their livelihood is dependent on that product, right? If somebody comes out and talk about Jewish Day all day long, it's because they only make money if you buy Jewish Day. Okay,
Exactly.
And if you see that trend, that's what you gotta get. You have your favorite list. You might have a favorite reviewer that talks a lot about certain brands, is because they get paid from those brands, and that's one of the problem. And what I think is Martin is in a good spot, because Martin's one of those reviewers that I know that talk more shit about cigars he didn't like than anybody else.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? It's like everybody send him cigars to review, and he's like, "Yeah, that's the shit. I taste crayon."
Crayon.
Yeah. He tastes about weird things, and then you actually got yourself in a dilemma where manufacturer won't send you cigar anymore because you talk shit about it, right? You talk shit about it. You're like, I don't like this cigar. This cigar's horrible, and they will never send you a cigar again, which is fine, right? But the cost of being a YouTuber, a cigar reviewers. There's not many that does not live off that sponsorship or live off as some sort of connection that makes them money, right? So,
True.
I know Eric. He's just doing it because it's fun and he's lonely guy. He's a very sad guy, very lonely.
Guy, just
and
lonely.
Right. And I'm the same way. I just doing it for fun, because the brands that we like will never sponsor anyone.
Right? Exactly.
That Opus X is never gonna sponsor anybody. They don't need to. Patron is never gonna sponsor anybody. They don't need to. Davidoff never gonna sponsor anybody because they don't need to. And we happen to be the cigar smoker of those brands that we like. And the rest of them, we actually talk a lot of shit about them. I don't think they would ever have a chance to sponsor us. So that's a problem, right? But for Martin, you actually did you reach out, or did somebody reach to you when it comes to sponsor?
So in the beginning, after I had, I think it was 1,000 subscribers, I reached out to companies and I was like, "Hey, I've got a cigar review channel, an upcoming channel. Interested in I was wondering if you were interested to send me some cigars and for review." And some of them did, and then I had companies after that. And I started reviewing some of the new stuff and doing unboxings. That is when companies started reaching out to me saying, "Hey, we would like you to review this new humidor that we have." And I'm like, "Okay, here it is. This is what I've been waiting for." So I was able to get a pretty good amount of humidors, and I had companies for cigar unboxings, Cigar of the Month clubs. So I did that and was able to get with 2 companies that every month they would send me cigars. I would basically promote their company, talk about the cigars in there, and then just tell them where to get it. Come to find out, because I don't like to read and I don't like to read the policies and procedures and all that, that was against YouTube policies. I can't tell the consumer or the viewer where to get it. And then it started to become a problem to where started getting some strikes, and that's where that all started going.
Yep. Now that's the part where I talk about where YouTube is cracking down, but yet not cracked down. Because recently I've seen people tell you exactly what you buy, fake Cubans, and literally name the website and name top 10 websites or something like that, and they're all bad, but they are not being catched. They are not being banned. They are not being flagged for it. The video is still there. I looked at it. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so bad." And I know they're paid. I know either way they're paid, and because nobody will go advertise those websites for any reason. Because, by the way, guys, regardless of what people say, if you do buy from those websites, you're committing a crime. Okay, you're importing an embargo product. So, regardless whatever it is, just cigar, cool down, whatever, you're committing a crime. So. Just saying, you're not allowed to ship, Cuban cigars because they're being embargoed. But if you go out there and buy some and bring it back, that's a different story. That's legal. So,
That's fine.
So,
Yeah.
in turn of you being sponsored, you start to collecting some sort of monetary money or products, right? Let's be very
Right.
honest here. How much do you think you bias towards the product because they were sponsored? You just give me a percentage, like maybe 1 to 10. 10 being them, I have to say they're good, and 1 being like, they're just junk anyway. I would just tell people they're junk. So, where do you think you are
Okay.
once you receive those products?
So percentage between 1 and 100%?
10. 1 to 10.
1 and 10%? Okay.
No, 1 to 10. 10 being the most, right? So same thing as if you
10.
know.
Okay. So one of the things that I did with my unboxings and my sponsorships, I basically looked at the company, looked at what they were sending, and if it was something that I felt I was going to be saying positive things about, but they were not that great of a company, then I feel like I would have kind of been lying to my viewers. So there was a little bit of bias because they were paying me, but it was more along the lines as I like what they're doing. I like the stuff they're sending me. So I'm not saying it just because they're paying me. Like, I'm saying it's good stuff because I like what they're sending me. It's a lot of the good stuff that I've been looking for or new stuff. But there were times where I'm like, okay, this package is shit. But I couldn't say that because I was getting paid from them. So percentage wise, somewhere between I don't know, it's maybe a 4 out of 10 bias.
4 out of 10 bias. Okay, all right.
4 out of 10.
So here's the thing, like, if you like what they send you, right, you tend to hype it out a little bit more. Whereas if you don't like the stuff they send you or don't like who they are, you just play it down to record a really quick one, something like that.
Yes. Usually I would just show the product, not give my personal opinion. Or if I did give a personal opinion, there was one time I think I did a review and I was like, here's a cigar, and I threw it over my shoulder and it kept going. But like, I tried not to give my personal opinion and just not say anything bad about what I was looking at or what I was unboxing. And if I did, I just kind of made a joke out of it, like, just get rid of it right away. Because my viewers know that I don't like specific things or specific cigars or specific companies. And that was my little hint to them, like, oh, that's shit. Let's just throw it over my shoulder.
So, like, okay, in that perspective, right? This is the part where it's kind of different for us versus consumers, right? Because we're not just consumers; we're more involved than average consumers. So when it comes to like me watching these reviews by some people, I get cringe. I really cringe sometimes. Like, dude, you are pushing it so hard that this thing is gonna come through your ass, out of your mouth, kind of thing. Like, I was like, you try too hard, like, as if nobody knows you're trying to push this item, right? Because I do review too. I can't say I didn't do review too, right? I do review, but I don't tell people whether or not they should go buy it. I tell people how much I think is worth to me, how much I will buy it.
Yeah.
And I think from that, they can kind of see, oh, if you will spend $20 on it, would I spend $20 on it? Rather than, you should go buy it because I'm telling you to buy it. Because somebody behind me is giving me $20 to tell you to spend that $20.
Right.
Right? So I think that's the difference, right? But for a lot of reviewers, you can tell they push hard. Like, they will smoke the same cigar in the past, like 5 videos in a row. And they go, you need to buy this. This is the best cigar I ever had. I mean, I've heard... I heard those the Zero cigars. The guy says, this is my daily go-to cigar, even though he just released it. It's like, how do you have daily go-to release cigar if it's just released? You can't have this daily if you just released it, And obviously, we're not gonna go into too deep of a detail, like what kind of cigar he's selling and everything, it will be.
We'll
It
keep
is.
him off the podcast.
Yeah, because that's the thing. That technically he could have that as a daily cigar, because
Yeah.
they're
I mean,
like
we
a
know where it
dollar.
comes from.
They're like a dollar. So yeah, they could.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like it's really weird to be I think a YouTuber and see how this industry works from the back compared to you try to explain that to a someone that's listening, right? Our listeners. It's like, this is, behind the scenes, actually a lot more corrupt and dirty than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like at the same time, the YouTubers are working like a dog because we don't get paid. Well, yeah. Some do get paid, but majority of people who started the channel thinking that they're gonna make it big, you gotta work every single day. Number one. Number two, you will realize that even if you do get popular, the pay is not worth your time. You can probably get paid more working the Starbucks for a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when it came down to, like, when you talk about people really pushing something that they didn't, you could tell was being fake. That's one of the things. Like, I did not want to do that, and I wanted to make sure that my viewers knew that if I didn't like a cigar, I would talk shit about it. And there were many times that happened because I didn't want to come off to, when I did push a product, people were like, "Oh, well, he's just being paid. It's being fake. He's being fake. He doesn't like the cigars. He doesn't like the packaging or the cigars, whatever they're sending me." So it was more of me trying to build my reputation as, if I'm going to talk shit, I'm going to tell you why I'm talking shit about it, and then go on from there. But if I actually liked a company or liked their cigars, I'm going to tell you the truth. And then that was just building that whole trust with my viewers.
Well, have you ever rejected one? Like, if they send you a product, you're like, I'm not reviewing this shit.
I don't think that ever happened, because usually I would. I always accepted packages, but I never did a review because somebody was, okay, let me say this. So I had somebody send me a package, and they didn't reach out to me. They just mailed it to me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I unboxed it, and I was like, I'm not going to open this up. I'm not going to do a video on this, even though you send me a Cigar of the Month club. It's your new club, whatever. And then I get an email a week later. Hey, just want to let you know, we sent you a box. How'd you like it? Hope you could do a unboxing. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. I get paid for my unboxings, and yeah, I'm not just going to do this just for you, just for fun.
Did they respond?
No, they didn't respond.
So, oh shit, can you send it back?
Nope. Thanks for the product.
Actually, technically, legally, you're supposed to send that back. Because, they send the product to you, but you can say, I never received it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But
true.
Did you end up smoking it, though? What did this thing you ended? Do you remember?
It was the Cigar of the Month Club.
Which is, for what cigar? For what cigar?
I don't remember what they were. It was a bunch of common cigars, stuff that you normally find in a humidor.
Yeah, so like that's the thing, right? How do you review a cigar of the month if they're sending you cigars that has nothing to do with the company? Right? The company just basically puts cigars together and send it to you, right? But when you review it, you're not really saying that, hey, this company released good cigars. It's just this company put together $20.
Yeah, they just sent me a box of cigars.
Right? There's not much to say other than, hey, they have good selection, but you can't really promise that because their selection changes from time to time, every single month, right?
Right.
So, it might be good this month, the next month might be total shit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing you can technically, I believe that when I look online and somebody's talking about monthly cigar club or something like that, I was like, okay, I understand. You're telling me that this month is this stuff is nice, but you cannot promise me that next month is gonna be good stuff, because if it's not good stuff, who's paying me back?
Mm-hmm.
So that's always the problem. When you do a cigar review, you're already talking about one specific cigar, so that you can pin something to it. But when you review a product, that like some, like a lot of people do this particular advertisers, like the Boxu, the food boxes, monthly food boxes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I see like everywhere. Yeah, I seen it everywhere. I was like, you can tell me that what you receive, this initial box is this. Okay, I can send it and you show me it's worth $50 or whatever that amount is. But next month, there's no way you can tell me that I'm gonna get my money worth. Yeah. Because what if I hated this food? I can't even tell you what I'm allergic to. What if I just absolutely hate rice crackers? And I'm the whole box. Today's theme is rice crackers. Oh, great, thanks.
Yep. Yeah, I just got a bunch of shit I don't ever gonna eat.
Yeah, and that's the same way I feel for monthly club. I mean, for brand new people, if you never have 99% of the all cigars out there, great. Go try that. You're gonna receive 3 cigars you never smoked before every single month until you reach that, I don't know, 50 percentile, right? Because if you start smoking, if you start to flipping through magazines and you find that half the cigar on the advertisement you've smoked, you're at that point where you should not join a cigar club, a cigar monthly club. Because you already know why you like to smoke half the time. And you already smoke half the stuff that's out there worthy of mentioning, right? And the rest is word of the mouth. You go to other people who are experienced in smoking and say, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Well, they will tell you how they like, they like. And that's the time where you really should change from Cigar Club of the Month to watching legit cigar reviews, right? Because that's when you exchange notes, right? That's when you go, I'm smoking this. He's smoking the same thing. Are we at the same ballpark?
Yeah.
Right.
You try to find somebody that is in the same, like has a very similar palate to yours, to where you can trust and be like, okay, well, he smokes this cigar. I like it too. Or I've never had that cigar, but he liked it and we have a very similar palate. So I think I'll try that too.
Right. So Martin, when you do a review, what are your approaches? Like what kind of message you try to get to your viewers when it comes to cigar reviewing?
Basically just review, give my notes on it, presentation, cost of the cigar. I never rate it. I've told my viewers that it's either a good cigar or it's a shit cigar, but I always try to tell them, I didn't like it, but you might smoke it anyway. Tell me what you think.
Okay. That's I think we all
liberal with my reviews.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people don't put a score on it because that's the best way to not offend anybody.
True.
Right. Yeah. So if I don't put a score on it, I'm not offending anyone. I think if anything, score is less offending to people than me giving a price, because some people's like, you lowball my cigars. Right. I'm like, this is like a $6 bundle when you bought it for $60. Like. Right. Well, I can't help it. It tastes like $6 bundle. All cigars are $6 bundle until you put a decoration on it. Yeah. Right. So it's like that. I guess that hurts, because when you say this is a 5 out of 10, it's a smokable cigar. It's mediocre, but it's still telling them that it's worth that money. Right. You gotta get 5 point out of the 10, but you should still pay that $50 or whatever. Right. But when I say this $50 cigar is worth $6, now I really give you a view of what this is worth.
It's not a very good cigar.
Right. Like it's not even about how good the experience is. It's like, even if you give it to me, I might not accept it. So I think that's where my approach is, right? So like your approach is you will smoke through the cigar, and I think that's pretty much modern day standard on what cigar review is by the third. You look at a cigar, you show the cigar, you give information, you smoke the first stir, second stir, last stir, summary. That's usually what we all do, right? Technically.
Yeah, true.
So
just give your personal notes on the cigar as you're smoking it.
For Martin, it used to be introduction to the cigar, showing the cigar, smelling the cigar, and then cigar porn for about 15-25 seconds,
Yep.
and then smoking the cigar first, and then first impression, first third, second third, and the last third, and then that's usually what I think your video was, right?
Right.
And my video is, similar, and I just basically in the end I'll tell you whether or not I think it's worth it to me at this price, and I tell you what the price was, right? So I think it's very standard, right? The information are out there, but I've seen people that just basically only tell you whether or not a cigar is good. They don't give you any information. There's no wrapper, no size, just the name, and seeing them smoke it, and they go, "All right, this is really good cigar," and then take another puff. This is really good cigar. I taste blah. And the end is like, you should try one. This, whatever cigar's name is, you should try one. I've seen those reviewed too, right?
I know. Those are just very boring because you're like, okay, so you're leaving out very important information. What is a wrapper? What is a binder? What is a filler? If you like a cigar, you have to realize what is the tobacco that you're tasting to where you can figure out in other cigars that you might like because it has the same wrapper, binder, or filler.
I was actually, I'm very different on that one, I think, compared to your opinion, because you're looking for what you like. I'm looking at what I don't like. So I actually think that a lot of information about the tobacco is, in a way, pointless, because if a cigar is good and the tobacco is not what you like, you still gotta like it, right? We have had that where, okay, I know you used to hate Mexican San Andreas,
true,
but you found your way to like it.
Yes,
it's been improved, right? It's improved. The manufacturer figured out how to actually use it correctly, and it's been improved. So knowing the wrapper to start with actually did you disservice, because it makes you, when you hear Mexican San Andreas, I'm not gonna bother with it. It tastes bad.
So it took me a long time,
but they fixed it.
It took me a long time to figure out what it was about the Mexican San Andreas that I did not like, and it was the aging of the tobacco. Because when you remember, I don't know if you remember, Mexican San Andreas came out on every fucking cigar. Every new fucking cigar had the Mexican San Andreas, and I'm like, I don't like this shit because it was too young. It wasn't fermented well enough. But then I realized, hey, this cigar has a 10-year-old Mexican San Andreas. This is fucking good.
Yeah, and I actually talked about this on one of my reviews the other day. I said, I'm so sick of everybody using the same tobacco on their cigars, because now they all taste kind of the same. Right? And that's the problem. Being the cigar reviewer, you're like, did I just review another San Andreas with the Connecticut Briarleaf yesterday? You're like, oh shit, I just did that yesterday. This is another one. Okay, they taste the same. I don't know how they can taste any different. So that's a problem as a cigar reviewer, right? And when it comes to telling people what it is, I don't really think there is much of help, but I do know that some people like it. I do know some people like to hear that information, so I still talk about it. But I think that in the end, if something is good, if something is good. For example, like you might like, somebody might hate, let's say, pepper or broccoli. All right. But if you go to a restaurant and whoever prepped it good, and you don't even know broccoli was in there, you will still eat it and go, this didn't taste great. And it's the same idea when it comes to cigars. If whoever blended in a way that, maybe that certain tastes that you do not like are muted, you will like that cigar a lot. But then by hearing that what tobacco's in there, you just discounted that.
Yeah, that's
cigar.
True.
So I don't really like to tell people what it is, but then I feel like as part of the reviewer, you got to give the
full information about it.
Right, so it's like, I give it to you, but I don't think that what good that's gonna do. I do think that the information that are good is price and size, right? Because I know a lot of Asian like me, we will not smoke a cigar based on size.
Okay, like Lanceros.
Like we will literally refuse. Yeah, Lanceros. We will refuse to smoke Lanceros. and even though Lancero is the artesian, how do you call that? Very aficionado style of smoking, because you're smoking majority of that wrapper leaf. You're not smoking the binder. You're not smoking the filler that makes it big to start with. You're just smoking the leaf that gives the most taste, which I disagree. I still think a transition came from a multitude of things that you put in there, or else you wouldn't choose put in there. You would just, everybody just put, hey, it's filler, just put Connecticut in there. Has no flavor, just put it in there, right? The point is that it still matters, right? It still matters. So, you know, that's why they put it in there. So to say that you only want it a certain way, that kills it. I think that kills it completely. So talking about, you know, review cigars and stuff like that, before I go to something very controversial for very quickly, who is some of the reviewers that you actually like? Like, you maybe before you start, like, who are the reviewers that you listen to, you kind of get your style from?
I didn't watch, well, in the beginning I did watch a lot of reviewers, and it was Cigar Show Tim. It was a lot of new and up and coming reviewers, just so that I could kind of not necessarily mentor, but like get ideas off each other, because we were both like kind of growing, and channel was we're trying to develop each other's channels. So Tim, Cigar Show Tim, and then maybe one or two larger channels. But it was never to, like with the larger channels, it was never to try and mock them or anything. It was just literally for the entertainment. If there was something that came out new, and they were able to get their hands on it, I'd look and try to find a way to get it, to review it. But I was always the type of person to reach out to the smaller guys and then just try to help people who are trying to do the same thing, is what I was doing.
Okay. Now let's get into a really, like, you know, last little bit. Let's get into a really controversial topic. What did you drink when you review a cigar? I absolutely hated this topic because I think it's kind of dumb. But what do you drink for your cigar review?
So there were two main drinks that I had while I reviewed cigars. One of them was Dr. Pepper, and the second one was Topo Chico.
Okay.
So I just started picking up Topo Chico again, just as a joke. People that know me, they're going to know, hey, he's trying to get sponsored. But but Dr. Pepper was the main thing that I drank with my cigars, because it added to the experience. Not added to make the cigar better, but it added to the way that I liked to enjoy the cigar. So I've been drinking Dr. Pepper for many years, so I know what Dr. Pepper tastes like. And when I'm tasting a cigar, I know how to differentiate the Dr. Pepper versus a cigar. But a lot of people got onto me and got pissed off because the Dr. Pepper is altering your flavor, the notes that you're getting. I'm like, dude, I know what fucking Dr. Pepper tastes like.
But they only say that because when you drink Dr. Pepper, you review a cigar and you say that was bad, right? They never bat an eye if you say the cigar was good, because you obviously didn't review just one. So if you drink Dr. Pepper, you say a cigar is good, they didn't bat an eye. But if you say the cigar was bad, now all of a sudden it's because you drink Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the main thing. You had people that knew the way that I reviewed cigars, and then you had people that were just there because it was a newer cigar. So you had both types of people, and I don't know. It was just it was a lot of backlash when I would say bad things about a cigar.
Right, but only when you reviewed it and you told them that you were drinking Dr. Pepper, because that's the thing. You always been drinking those two items, right? Topo Chico, Dr. Pepper, maybe sometime beer, maybe sometime Coke. All right, but if you say the cigar was good with your review, they don't come around and ask you what you're drinking.
Yeah, you're right.
Or if your cigar say it was bad, even though same brand, whatever, different cigar, and all of a sudden, what were you drinking? You must not be drinking
and
water.
nobody's gonna be drinking water through a fucking cigar.
Right. And here's the thing, like, I understand the argument is that they say the blenders who are blending it are drinking water when they blend it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not my problem though, right? And so is all the chefs, or like French chef or Italian chef, when they are creating their food, they're probably drinking wine. Now, if I go to the dining table, I eat the food and taste like shit. It's because I don't drink wine. What the hell, right? That's not an excuse, right? If you're making something that tastes good, regardless of what the palate was, it should still stand out, right? Because there are times that we smoke a cigar and then we drink whatever we're drinking. We're like, that's a really bad pairing, right? Well, you have those times, right, where you drink something and go, that didn't taste right. Let's change drink, or something like that, right? If you have something that's very, I don't know, really flavorful, really chocolatey, and you drink vodka as pairing, now you're not gonna, you gotta go, nope, that's not the right drink, right? So, but then if I smoke something and I drink something that drink is great, and then you smoke something like that smoke sucked, well, that smoke sucked, right? Because if the drink doesn't go with it, then I'll be able to say, that drink doesn't go with it, right? There's a lot of time where I will smoke something, and then we happen to be in an area where they only serve beer, and I drink a beer and go like, no, that doesn't match, and I just get a soda or something, right? And I think the entire industry is acceptable to have few kind of drinks with cigar. Okay, you can have Dr. Pepper, cream soda, coffee, bourbon,
but
and beer.
For me, I think when you drink bourbon with a cigar, it can significantly alter what you're tasting in the cigar.
Yeah, because the wood level is different, the barrel level is different. Some of them really have a different kind of taste it's not necessary to be woodsy, but more like chocolatey and sweet. And you go with a really woodsy bourbon, like really oaky, it's gotta kill it, right? And there's that kind of cigar you want to go with a tequila. Now it's sweet, both sides is sweet, but you can tell it's drink's fault. Right? When you are smoking something, you drink something that totally doesn't match. You can tell that the drink's fault.
A beer, and I was like, "This does not taste right," because something in the beer, something in the cigar, it's not matching up right. I gotta either put the beer down or put the cigar down.
Right? And like, as a YouTuber, you get that backlash because nobody wants you to say bad stuff about their brand, and that's the truth, right? If you say something bad about it, now they have to defend it, and now they have to find excuse. And that excuse was, what were you drinking? And they say, that's not how the blender intended. I hate that word. I hate that blender intended. Now the blender's intention should be, it suits our lifestyle, suits the consumer, right? Blender should suit consumer, not them, right? Because we are the one that's using it. They are the one that's crafting it so that we will like it. They don't craft it so that they will like it. They craft it so that we will like it, right? We as a consumer like it. So their intention should be, we can enjoy it, no matter when, how, what the event is, right? We can enjoy it. Not, you can only smoke this with water, or else you're going to have a bad time.
Food, cigars, whatever it may be, you enjoy it the way that you want to, and no one's going to tell you how you're supposed to enjoy whatever the product is.
Right? There's not going to be one person that has to remind anybody, when you go out there and eat a Mexican meatloaf or something like that, do not pair it with, I don't know, skim milk. Or do not pair it with, I don't know, something disgusting, century egg. Okay, because they're not gonna pair well, and that's not even the chef's intention. The chef will not tell you that. Or if you like to put century egg on your pizza, go for it. All right, there are people that likes it. right? But it's not how chef intended. It doesn't mean it tastes bad. And the chef will never say, hey, don't you dare ever put that century egg on my pizza. That never happens.
Right. Yeah.
The chef is like, you pay me, you put whatever you want on it. Right? Right? So, okay, I understand people's livelihood. I understand people depends on that. But shit cigar, it's going to be shit cigar no matter what I do with it. So are you going to be happy if I do another review and I drink water as if this thing tastes even worse when I pair with water? Because not only the cigar sucks, true. The drink sucks too. Like, would you be happier? Like, I can redo my review, smoke that entire thing with just water, and I'll tell you it's going to be not as well because now not only I don't get to enjoy the cigar, I'm not going to enjoy the drinks. And both that experience is going to suck. It just suck, right? That's like going to McDonald's, get a cheeseburger with no meat in it. Because the chef intended for you to have 2 buns of lettuce and mayo. No meat today, vegan. Yeah, no, the chef doesn't decide what the intention was. The intention should be putting together an art form food that no matter who eats it will be able to enjoy with the way they want it. Now, they have a better way to enjoy it, yes. When you go to sushi bar, they give you sushi and they say, you will enjoy this more if you have some sake. Right? But you can drink soda if you wanted to. You're going to enjoy it just as much. You'll have more if you want it. So they can say, if you enjoy the cigar already, pair with the bourbon. It's got to be even better. That should be the intention, right? The intention is, we aged this cigar in a bourbon barrel. So, the intention was so that when you enjoy it with your bourbon, you got to enjoy it even more because now they got to match even more. They never tell you what not to pair with. Because if they want to do that, if that's really that important of an intention, put on the box, right? You put a lot of shit on the box already, right? You're like, seal with Bovita pack, made in Dominican, handmade, hand rolled it, You put all that thing, you cannot put... This product is intended to be enjoyed with only water and water only. If you do not drink it with the water, you might not get the experience that you're supposed to experience, and you will have a bad time. Right? If it's that important, put on the box. Artisan cigar, only to be enjoyed with water.
True.
Because if you didn't drink with water and it tastes bad, it's your fault.
Good.
No, they're like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
I just feel like that's why I made it a point to let my viewers know, hey, I'm drinking this because I like it. And I'm drinking Topo Chico because it cleans my palate out. It's actually helping me to review the cigar, and that was I just kind of explained what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's like Corona beer, right? People always put a lime on top. That's how the beer was intended to drink it. That's how they advertise it. But at no time they'll say, if you don't put a lime on top, it's going to taste like shit, even though it really does taste like shit. Right? They don't put on the things that say, if you drink Corona, it tastes like shit, it's because you didn't put a lime on it.
Yeah.
Even though both way taste like shit, I'm sorry. But people who like Corona, I'm sorry. It tastes like water. It tastes like piss.
What lime?
Yeah, with the lime actually tastes better because we can taste lime. Lime tastes good. At that point, lime tastes good. But it's one of those things like, hey, at least I enjoy one thing out of the two, beer and lime. I enjoy the lime, so it wasn't that actually improved my enjoyment, right? Same thing with a cigar. If I drink something I enjoy, if it didn't pair well, I will know that it didn't pair well. I will say that it didn't pair well. I will change a drink. But if it paired well, but the cigar tastes shitty, it's because that cigar tastes shitty, but at least I enjoy my drink. That is my chaser, Like when's the last time somebody go eat something really bad or like a food challenge and their chaser is water? Yeah, you chase something that you like, right? You don't chase like I'm gonna chase with this with like a cup of ammonia, because that thing tastes great. It's got washes on my mouth, very clean.
No,
right? No, it doesn't work that way. But anyways, I think today we already talked about a lot of YouTuber related issues and YouTube related thing. I think that we can elaborate this topic.
Yeah.
Next time, let's drag Eric into this topic as well, and we can, talk about him as the
new guy. Yeah.
I think in his experience, the newer era. Yeah, the new era, right? Because like now we went through a whole YouTube exodus of cigar reviewers who is actually needs the money, right? Because if you didn't need the money, you probably stayed it. You just hear, it's like, I don't need the money, so I don't care about advertisers. Then they'll stay. But those people left is because money. So, and now we have more people that's in. I don't know. Obviously, I've seen a few that's in for the money, like the one that couldn't tell the difference between Perdomo and a Cuban. Yeah. But, we have him we can talk to you about. And obviously, we will have our guests. They will have a few more guests that's does YouTubing for cigars. And I think that would be interesting to ask the same question to them and see what they think and how much money they actually spend on equipment and how much effort they had to put in there to make that few bucks. And, your mileage might vary because I think a lot of people actually make nothing. A lot of people are just like, I'll do this thing for fun just to get one or two cigars.
Yeah. And I think that's where Trey is right now.
That's pretty sad. I don't think anybody should be doing that. So.
He's slowly thinking about, maybe now that I have said subscribers, I could probably reach out to some companies. But yeah, now so I'm telling him like little things, little tricks, and what to expect, and he's kind of taking it all in. But it's a process, like learning how to reach out to companies, learning how to ask for money. I mean, nobody likes asking for money, so it's just you got to think of it as a business.
Yeah. You know what? Let's ask for money. So if you like this episode of podcast, you like our podcast, you should really check out our Patreon for the Shadow Smokes Legion. Support us, pitching a little bit to pay for the servers and all that stuff. Free. If you want to. If you don't want to, of course, Tony was continue to. Yeah, this is always free. Just listen to all the music. But if you want to support us, so that we can make better content and stuff like that, go there. $1, $2, not too bad. If not, whatever, right? So I think that will be it for this episode. We'll come back to do more episodes. Hopefully, I'll put them all together, so it'll be a series of something like what YouTube said or what YouTuber said, kind of thing, And I think that'll be very interesting. So that's it for this episode. I'll see everybody next time. Bye, guys.
You've been listening to the In the Shadows podcast. There's nothing like a fine cigar, and that's our passion. And on the show, we'll talk about everything and anything cigars. And you know what happens when you get a bunch of guys together smoking cigars. The conversations go on. And that is what this show is all about. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. Remember, the live show is every Wednesday and Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget you can find cigar reviews at youtube.com/soy sauce assassin. Wishing you long ashes. We'll see you next time on In the Shadows podcast.